a bottle. That's not cool.
I don't know, dog, for some premium.
Premium water?
Water.
It's not even
Premium.
it's not even as clean as your tap water. Your tap water is more regulated than.
Nah.
Where do you think they're getting? Are they tapping a cloud and then taking it
They're
down like a
fucking
magical
standing
little cup?
outside with a goddamn big ass bowl, waiting for it to rain, and purifying that bullshit. All right?
They're not doing that.
They're definitely not.
I think they're hooking up a hose to the back of like a abandoned warehouse, and they're just like putting it on all the way open.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome to Geekly Goods. I just want to start this review out by saying, Alex had quite the comments to say about the kids in this movie.
Did
He
I?
said, yeah. When we talked about the characters and how they've developed,
This is one of
you
those.
said you didn't really care.
Okay, no, that is not true. That is not.
Yeah.
You know what I said? No.
Let's hear it, because you said you were not attached.
Okay, that's not what I said. I can go find you the text messages. But
I'm talking right after.
okay, no. What you said was that you guys were very excited when two of the characters got together romantically, and I went,
See,
That
I
is
didn't
what
say
you
I
did.
didn't care about the kids. I literally said to you in a text message, perhaps 3 hours later, that I was really invested in the kids.
As soon as you said right after, though, you're like, I'm not really invested in the character. I promise
That's
you,
not
had a
true.
quote
That's
like
not what I
that.
said.
Okay, but you didn't see the first one, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so
And
that's
I
probably
can see
part
at
of
that
it.
point.
Good point.
Yeah.
There's no
Okay, so the
attachment.
last review started with y'all saying I hate old people. Now I hate kids.
Yeah, who do you
Apparently, yeah. What do you like?
I like you guys.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
So, yeah. So you're saying I'm not old? Yes.
Oh man, I didn't mean to do that.
Dude,
Got him.
points for Stu. Fuck yeah.
That's like a 3-month plan finally coming into fruition. Gotcha.
Here's the stroller back.
What are we talking about? Oh,
It chapter 2.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What? Good movie. Same
really good
director as the
movie.
first time. Great cast.
Wait, you not? You,
No, I mean objectively, yeah. Did I enjoy it? No.
Yeah. Well, the horror aspect.
Will
And
I be
here's what I'll
inviting y'all
say-
over to watch it? Fuck no. We're never watching it
Here's
again.
what I'll say about this movie. It does blend other genres into the horror. What am I trying to say? It does blend other genres into this horror movie very well. The comedy is amazing. Bill Hader just fucking takes
Bill
it.
Hader,
Oh.
you have my phone number.
James McAvoy.
James
too.
McAvoy is
Like, crush it.
great.
Oh,
Everybody, top to
Jessica
bottom, the cat.
Chastain, like
Everybody.
everybody was good.
Those guys.
Yo, yeah.
All them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All
Yeah.
of them.
Wait.
Well, there's actually a 6.
Yeah,
But
there's a few other characters.
there's a couple
but-
others.
These are all of the characters in the whole movie.
There's
Yo,
all
no
of them.
And I'm
One of them is Pennywise. No, it's not.
Yes, which one?
Right.
No.
Who has the most red shirt?
Oh yeah, Jessica
Chastain.
Yeah.
And she has
Maybe
red
she's
hair.
Pennywise.
Ooh.
All right.
Anyway,
For real.
no, but this was really good.
It was.
As like a fan of horror in general, like I was being very cruel ahead of time and like sending you guys those gifs of Pennywise
That's
nonstop.
a lot of gifts,
Like,
all day.
We should screenshot that or something.
I'm
I did.
afraid of
Stuart, do you have any
clowns.
idea how many people I've shown that to already? Like, just letting everyone know what a bad.
I haven't even.
Yeah,
I
it
haven't
was
even
great.
seen it. I haven't even seen any of the gifts.
Because I deleted the thread before you had to, didn't I?
Yes.
I do want to say that like
Look at the high five!
Yeah. we did
elbow.
it.
I do want to say like I want to toot my own horn a little that I actually never repeated a GIF. I sent at least 20. They were all terrible.
All original,
all
but all the
horrifying.
same. None
Yeah.
the same. Excuse me.
Dude, I saw one of them and I was like upstairs alone in a dark kitchen, and I was like, this is the worst
I
one.
did think about sending you guys like, okay, so I had this whole plan that I definitely
You have
shouldn't do.
too much time on your hands.
Well, I think about things.
You have a job.
I do. I was going to find a different phone and text both of you things from that.
No.
Yeah, it would have been terrible. That would have been
That
bad.
would've been-
I may have cried.
Yeah,
when I
no.
watched it.
I think I started crying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, y'all saw how I was after that movie.
Oh, you were a little
very
shaken.
You know what the worst part of that is? It's like you are the two people that I would go to here.
Yeah, I
like
know.
I was really, really upset about something. It's like I just got these text messages from a different guy.
Oh my god, guys, I
And
can't
I
handle
would
it.
have been like texting back like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that. Are you okay?"
And
And then also
another
like,
from him.
like I see you. Da, 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 da. Like, yeah, it would have been great. It would have been
Yeah.
fun.
They dialed up Pennywise in this one.
Yeah, they really did.
Especially from that first one. I mean, he was actually more ambiguous, like in the book. He was a lot more just kind of in the shadows, popped up here and there to really scare you. Here, this time, I mean, he's part of the main cast.
He's front and center.
Yeah. I mean,
and I will
very early on.
He looks great too.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where the effects on this are fantastic.
Fucking mind.
And you lose it a little bit. Like you don't think that Pennywise is real at any point, which is really cool. And going back to the Tim Curry TV version, there's a lot in that makeup and effects wise. And it was a TV movie and all that. So not trying to knock it, but the effects, they can't match this.
No.
So you can't get these really awesome changes and into different characters and
face flips.
Yeah.
And scratching faces and putting on makeup and oh man, it's.
You know what I was doing that whole time? I was like this.
Yeah, I will say, sitting next to both of you was kind of hilarious because every now and then at the really points, I'd look over and you guys would be like, just.
You know how I spent the whole movie in the fetal position?
Yeah, you did. Half the scenes are just like this. And I had my shirt up, but I could see through the shirt. So I was like,
that's not safe, Leo. You need to wear
not
a pink
safe.
shirt.
Yeah.
Need to wear a shirt that blocks these eyes.
Yeah.
Relaxes.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
Relaxes the mind. Wow, yeah, the horror. I would say I liked Pennywise in the first one a little, just a skosh better because it was just so ambiguous and he just kind of popped up when you didn't expect him to.
Well, there's a little bit more groundedness to him. He wasn't. They really ratcheted up the supernatural here.
A lot.
Where they're like, this is not a real thing, and it shows. There's a lot of fantasy to it, which is terrifying because you can't control that.
Yeah.
But in the first one, you're right. It was very much more like. He's in the shadows.
Yep.
You see his
He's
eyes.
creeping around.
It's flashes of him around. And you're like, is that where is he?
And you know what that did? That set up a transition for his character, just like everyone else.
Totally.
27 years later, Pennywise is popping up each and everywhere wherever he can get someone.
It was kind of interesting. He was almost desperate.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And this isn't giving anything away. He was legitimately I missed you guys.
Yeah. I need you guys back.
Which is insane. That a killer clown thing is I'm missing my victims, and I want you. I've been thinking about you for 27 years. That's really
you
scary.
might have grown up, but I haven't gone anywhere. Oh my god!
But I will say he was not the scariest part to me.
Oh really?
It was all the things. I know I had my eyes covered, but it was there was all the things that he conjured, all the other monsters and shit that appeared.
Right.
That stuff scared me more.
The consequences of Pennywise were a lot scarier in this one.
Right.
And it was when they were kind of slight spoiler alert. There was a couple scenes in the movie where characters would flash back to their childhood moments.
Right.
Some of those moments with Pennywise
were the
absolutely
worst.
horrifying.
Yeah, they were bad.
There was straight up one I couldn't watch a single second of it.
Which
I
one was
knew
that?
where it was going. I don't want to spoil it. I can't tell you without spoiling it.
Yeah, let's.
All right.
I'll tell y'all when that's not.
Okay,
on.
that's right.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing too is it really related to the childhood, right? The original message from Stephen King is really well kept together in this movie, where it's there's a clear separation of your childhood life and your adult life, and you don't necessarily remember everything as from a child because there are things you don't necessarily want to remember, and not to go too deep with this, but it's in cases of abuse or bad childhood homes or whatever, it's a defense mechanism. You block these things out. So to see that kind of portrayed as a killer clown thing, I don't know how else to describe this. Yeah, but it's a cool allegory, and it's actually a really nice way of describing how these things happen, and going back to your childhood is not easy for some people. So if you think about it, this movie in terms of that, of coming back to abusive childhoods, it's...
You start remembering it all.
Yeah, and
back together.
It floods and it comes back to you in waves. And it's it's really cool that there are deeper levels to this than just
layers.
What's on the screen.
For sure.
Yeah.
And can I just say, Bill Hader's got me, man. And it's not he didn't before, but wow.
I mean, he's officially...
What a great
He
actor.
is my man crush.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
His humor is on point. His timing's great. He's absolutely hilarious, and he embodied this character, a grown version of his character, perfectly.
To piggyback on the grown-up characters, every single one of them was perfect.
They looked the part. They acted the part. James McAvoy with the stutters.
They were so good.
It was on.
The stutters were believable, which is hard to do.
And they were natural, and like the struggle to get through a couple words and then change. It was great.
Like when he's in the. Oh man, I
Yeah.
won't dive into that. I don't want to.
I know what you're talking
that whole
about.
section of the movie we just can't talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately, just too much spoiling.
It really is. The guy who I actually liked the best was the grown-up Eddie Casbrook one, the germaphobe. Like him, the child version of him was amazing. And if you remember, we kind of came to this realization earlier. He's the same actor who played the brother in Shazam.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was like the
Freddy.
best.
Why did I kept trying to
only good
pinpoint
part
who
of that
that
entire
was?
My favorite part of Shazam. I'm not going to get into this too far, but the kid who played him was great. But then the grown-up actor from The Wire, Generation Kill, all that, he was amazing as well. And it almost felt like they were doing it together.
Yeah.
Because none of it felt separated. It really did. They look uncannily similar. It's fantastic. Like, casting was really well done.
I would say that along the entire cast, it seemed like they did work with their childhood counterparts to mimic exactly what they would be as adults.
Well, and they didn't take any like unknowns almost.
Yeah.
Like even the kids are all like pretty well-known actors, and to be able to go like 1-to-1 like that is it's impressive.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
And they actually did a good job of de-aging those kids.
Yeah, so they had to do that in this movie with the second one because it's 2 years later basically.
Well, how did that work with Finn Wolfhard? Because his voice is very deep now.
I don't know. Maybe they pitched it down.
It up?
Yeah, or up, I guess. Yeah. So, but either way, this kind of speaks to the overall craftsmanship of this movie, and it is terrifying. It does not take the brakes off.
It does not.
But I will say, like, top to bottom, this is a really well-made movie.
It is.
Yeah.
And sure, it's a Stephen King book, so it's a little schlocky. There's parts that are pretty corny, and like you're not gonna escape that.
Yeah.
But
Stephen King, you're in for it.
this is like the best. I don't know how you do this movie better. Honestly, like with this source material, maybe you add another hour between the two movies and go deeper into some of the stuff from the book, which is like 1,000,000 pages long.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no. I can't really think of anything where I'm like, they really missed on this.
And
one.
they really left it up to your imagination by, and this is slightly spoiling, but not quite. They didn't dive too deep into his past where everything was given away.
I'm really glad they didn't.
And they didn't paint this picture of, well, he came from this planet and he was raised by this alien race and they sent him to Earth to, destroy the world, just like Saiyans and Dragon Ball Z. But I mean, it was just one meteor coming down, and that's about it.
And they gave visual cues. They let the audience fill in the gaps.
Yeah, let us fill in the blanks.
We're smart enough. We understand that if something's falling from the sky and crashing to Earth, like
it's extraterrestrial,
we know that's not from the planet Earth. So it's one of those things.
Which character was your favorite? And you know what? This is actually kind of interesting. Because I'm sorry, I totally just cut you off. I'm so sorry. But we had a great discussion earlier. This is probably about 70% self-contained.
Yeah. Like, I didn't see chapter 1, but I didn't feel lost at all.
Right.
And I still cared about them.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't...
Did you?
I didn't celebrate their romance quite like you did. Because I didn't...
Well, former fat kid here.
Yeah. No, but I know what you're saying, where it's like, truth be told, I did not see the first one either, which is kind of a shame, and I'm going to go back and watch it now for sure. But... I'm reading the book. I'm like 1,000 pages into the book now.
And you saw the Tim Curry.
And I've seen the Tim Curry, so like I'm very familiar with the story. I know what happens. But yeah, this movie, you walk into it and they really catch you up right away.
Yep.
They do without like telling you.
Right.
They show it and they don't tell it, but you're still like you feel like you were just filled in.
It's a fantastic show don't tell kind of masterclass. Like Andy Muschietti, the director, whose next movie, have you heard this?
Mm-mm.
The Flash.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
I did not know
Which
that.
is actually, I think, perfect. Think of the character development, dealing with kids, dealing with, like, changing from a kid to an adult, Like, that's very Flash.
Perfect.
I think he's going to be, and he has humor. He has
This
action
was very
sense.
funny.
The humor was on point here.
Which
Very
was
good.
necessary.
Yeah.
Like, you had to do. It was too intense to not throw humor in, and I don't. It's pretty massively done.
Yeah. It takes you away from the evil that's being done.
Yeah, because I mean, really, right up from the get-go, there's McAvoy gets the phone call. He's kind of the opening of the movie, right?
Mhm.
Oh no, not even.
No, we get a whole scene before that.
Yeah, and
pops right up.
they really just go full throttle all the way
Yeah.
through. There is no dip where you're like, all right, let's get back to the. It's like no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Nope.
It's
Once it starts, it doesn't stop.
no, it really doesn't.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. Favorite character?
Oh, just Bill Hader.
Yeah,
I love everything Bill Hader does.
What a great guy. Like, he stole the show here. I'd seen an ad on Facebook today that was like, this is Bill Hader's movie.
You know
And I'm
what's
like,
great is like I didn't even feel like he stole the show. Like I feel like he just enhanced it. You know,
Yeah, it was. He stole the show without actually stealing
Stealing
it.
it.
which
right?
is like what you want.
Yeah, it's the best way to steal.
That's what you should
Good
do.
balance with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
was well balanced. I didn't feel like anybody was dragging or
No.
kind of out of character.
No.
Everybody felt right.
Yeah, I also just love Bill Hader so much.
Yeah.
After watching Barry, he's like
Oh
easily.
my God.
God,
Top 3 favorite
man, I need to
actors.
get right back on that because
It's-
I
you need to catch up.
blasted
Yeah, no
through a couple
excuses.
episodes.
It's
couple
coming.
episodes.
Stu and I have already
Love
talked
it.
about it, and I need someone else to talk about it with.
And I need to jump in and talk about it.
Yeah,
again.
we gotta talk about Barry.
I will say, so my actual favorite character on this movie, loved from the kids and the grown-ups, from the losers, I should say.
Yeah.
It is Bill Hader, obviously, but my favorite character in this movie is Pennywise, without a doubt. And it's kind of like as terrible of a character as he is.
It's cool that he's like a character though, and not just like a
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
He has ups and downs, and by the end, there's feelings and there's emotions, and it's like you never start to feel for him, but you start to be like, oh shit, there's more to this than I thought.
And that's what this movie did that the first doesn't, because
Right,
it's
the first
establishing the Losers Club. It's
Right.
honed in on the kids.
And Pennywise is a killer.
Yep, he's
and
just
that's
a
all
creep.
it is.
You see it through the lens of like a child. You know, you
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but it's killing people.
And this was so there's a recurring thing about how McAvoy's character, who's a writer, can't write a good ending, right? Which was fantastic.
Yeah.
You'll see it, you'll love it. But this movie could do a good ending.
Yeah.
They figured out how to do a great ending, and I hope that was part of the joke. Was that they actually were like, no, we can actually do this right.
Yeah.
But they really nailed it, and for a terrible movie where people are dying.
That was a
What
feel-good
an
ending,
ending.
y'all.
Yeah.
Like I walked out feeling pretty already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We literally saw like multiple children die.
Yeah.
Like saw it. And
Sad.
at the end of the movie you walk out being like, hey, all right. Like,
Right.
everything's gonna be
Losers,
okay.
man.
Friendship
Losers.
is all you need.
All right, out of 10,
Probably like a 7.5.
I would agree.
I
Similar.
will never. I mean, I don't want to say never. If y'all ever want to watch it again, I like you enough. I'll watch it with you.
You don't have to
but,
worry
like,
about me.
I have preferred basically almost every other movie I've ever watched.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me. That Pennywise stuff and
It was
I just can't do that.
it was fun, but I didn't like it.
I did not care
You
for
didn't
it.
like
I didn't care
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Here ya.
8.5. This is a classic. Right away.
You were freaking giggling like the whole time. You
I'm
loved
so
it.
Giggle.
yeah. I mean, I'm such a
Dude,
fan of
giddy
horror,
about it.
but at the same time, I was like, oh god, dude. Like, but this is a 6 hour, like with the first movie. This is a 6 hour marathon that is going to be at every Halloween party.
Oh, for
It's gonna,
sure.
Like, this
Not
is,
my Halloween. parties.
you put this on in the background and you can watch it for 6 hours.
I won't be watching,
Yeah.
but
I'll be in
on
the
the background.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Not going to Stu's Halloween
this
party
is
this year.
this is a classic, and I give a lot of credit for revitalizing a tricky like film property. This is not easy
Yeah.
to do.
No,
Not at
definitely
all.
not.
This could have turned out really badly.
But it was super
Yeah.
believable.
This isn't
Yeah.
like the Tim Curry version. Like it could have
Yeah.
easily spilled over.
And
Pretty bad.
and Bill Skarsgård, like, oh,
What I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Creepy looking.
He
man.
needs
Just
he needs a
crazy.
hug.
although he's also like kind of good looking at the same time. When he looks like a normal person and he's not smiling.
I don't
like,
know.
I feel like I do agree with you, but
Like there's pictures of him where you're like, oh, that's a good looking
can't, like,
person.
His eyebrows are just I don't know.
You're
I don't know,
clowns over
that's-
the
a little bit much, but I don't know.
Leo's got eyebrow standards.
Weird looking, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just the Pennywise shit. I just can't unsee.
Perhaps we'll have to look at a picture of
Well,
it.
and I have to say shout out to Seth Graham-Smith and David Katzenberg, who I worked with back in the day on the Hard Times of R.J. Berger, which is an MTV show. I think it's their first MTV show, but this is like they would never remember me at all. But like to have worked. Is it
like me and you like 10 years from now? I'll be like, it's Stu. You'll be like, who are you?
Or like in a week.
Yeah, right. Who could
every morning?
I'm
like, good morning, Stu. He's like, who are you?
They remember you.
Good morning, Alex. Hello.
Do you still have their number?
No, not no. There's no way.
They remember you.
All I'm saying is like to see them come from an MTV show that was like kind of funny and weird to something like this, where they're executive producing like huge horror like this, which I know is like their passion. It's really cool to see, and yeah, it's cool. It's one of those where I'm like, yeah, man, you guys really did it. Like,
yeah, that's
cool.
awesome, man.
It's fun to see them make
people like, rise up.
And they're super talented and super smart, and it's like, oh yeah, they're great.
What did you think? What would you give the movie out of 10?
Out of 10, I would definitely say about 7.5.
Okay.
Probably a clean 7.5, leaning
I'm like
towards
a dirty
8.
7.5.
But I feel like they're the last third of the movie, and I can't spoil.
Is that the part that bothered you the most, or are you saying that's your favorite?
That was the part that bothered me a little.
Interesting.
I can understand that.
Just a little bit.
The story
I
is
don't
pretty.
Spoil.
It's weird.
Yeah, well,
and
it's
it goes
not even
a little off the rails.
Yeah, there's just some fat that could be cut off, but again, we'll talk about it off cam.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean.
Yeah, the last third was.
I could agree with you there. It could have tightened up.
Goopy.
It's 2 hours and 42 minutes.
Yeah.
If you can't find a little fat in 2 hours and 42 minutes,
you're
not a very good editor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the middle third was incredibly strong, though. Flashing back between the adults and the kids, fantastic. Love this movie. Love the CGI they did. The work they did with Pennywise this time around was fantastic.
Yeah.
And man, I honestly got through this movie and I was, oh man. I got through this movie and I got through this movie and I honestly, like, I love the ending, but I was like,
sorry.
It's like the little brother you never asked for.
I got to the end and I love that ending, but man, I was like, shit, I kind of want another one. I know it feels kind of weird, but I'm like, if I could take one more.
I wish there was a part 3.
Yeah, like
I wish there was a
chapter 3
totally.
or something.
Totally. I know what you mean.
But guys, you all let us know what you think about it. Have you seen it yet? And are you planning to go see it? Have you seen it yet? Let us know down in the comments, guys. As always, like, subscribe, share, whatever you want. Let us know what your thoughts are, though, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Geekly Goods on all social media platforms, and grab something from our store. We take $1 of every purchase and donate it to arts education to keep arts in the classrooms. We'll see you next time.